and welcome to episode 4 of The Intel Room, your favourite Assassin's Creed Rebellion podcast. My name is Rob, and once again I am joined by SirAlex.
Hello.
Khaleesi.
Hi.
And Charlie B17.
Hello. I love the intros. It's like we've not said a word to each other. The whole thing, we've just joined Discord called and not spoke to each other until Rob introduced us.
And they don't know where we're
like,
stuck here since 3 hours instead.
You're like, oh, hello. You're right.
Haven't seen each other since before Christmas, episode 3. It's been a while, and we've got a lot to talk about, namely update 3.0 on the horizon. So we are basically going to pull that apart. We've only got 3 bullet points of information to go on, so there's going to be a lot of wild speculation. But I'm certainly eager to hear what these guys think is in the pipeline. So if you missed the news, the 3 bullet points we got were coming March 2021, featuring a new campaign mode, includes missions from our Helix Rift event, The Raven's Wound, and recruit 6 new heroes, including AC Valhalla favorites and ACR exclusive heroes. So we'll get into the heroes later on, but I'm keen to know what you guys are thinking this new campaign mode could possibly be. So SirAlex, let's throw you under the bus first. Give us some ideas. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm expecting something similar to the Bounties, to be honest. Like they said, they're going to use the Ravens One maps again, so it will probably most of the missions will be based on the event. Although it says, it doesn't say featuring missions from the Helix Rift event, and just says includes. So maybe there's more missions which are not from the Ravens Wound event. That would be cool. Regardless, I think it will be like a new twist or a new way to play those missions. Which I hope so, because the Bounties they have the same. There are exactly the same missions. It just a matter of rewards and difficulty. How it scales. Here, I hope being a new mode that it will bring something else to the table. So some twists, some game mechanics, something to make it unique and different from the Bounties, really.
What about you, Khaleesi? Is that where your head is at? And what sort of twists would you think were in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm actually wondering about the Raven Wounds has 5 missions. And so, I'm hoping that's not going to be all that we get. I hope that we get maybe some more Valhalla themed missions or something. I don't know. The info is pretty scarce here. We don't really have much to go on. I'm quite curious what they're planning to do. I hope they are taking into the account the huge amount of heroes that we have that are overpowered. I hope that they will play a bit more with the difficulties. Because so far the bounties we still complete the bounties using auto, and that's just not challenging for veteran players at all. So I do really hope that they are bringing some twist, and they're bringing in something new to bring more challenges to veterans too. And very curious how that's going to come out.
Sure. And Charlie, what was going through your head when you heard new campaign mode?
I'm hoping that this is just purely end game. From a selfish point of view, it'd give beginners something to work on once they complete Region 5. Then they get access to this new campaign. I'm hoping that I think that this will be basically the first 5 missions will be the Helix Rift event. And the way the Helix Rift event ended with the fella getting away and Eivor taking a bit of a pounding, they then elaborates onto that. And then there's basically something else that goes after that. So like a continuation of the storyline. I think that'd be quite nice. I'm with Khaleesi. I'd like to see something quite inventive because unless she's barred, female Ava will storm through that without a problem. So will Jean. There'll be so many heroes that can do it. So I'd like to see some like mechanics put in where, for example, if you've got a hero that heals from dodging or through critting, that if you do that, you lose health rather than gain health. And just little things like that, just to make you think about what heroes you've got to take in, and just different mechanics like nodes, for example, that are specific to that mission. So you kind of are forced to think outside the box, and you can't just take in Jean, who's going to dodge and heal and just clear every bit of content. If he actually goes in, you've got a chance of losing him because of the way the mechanics work. So that's what I'd personally like to see from it. And I hope it is another piece of endgame content. That's what I want. I don't want like the bounty missions where the first level is extremely easy and it just progressively goes up. I want it to be harder than Story 28 out the gate, and it just gets harder. That's what I want anyway.
You think they'll mix up like the class and subclass requirements for the missions, maybe force you to bring like queens in there and stuff?
Yeah, not just. I don't want them just to bring in like stupid heroes for the sake of it. I just want it to be a bit more intelligent. Like, you know, like long or daggered heroes do twice as much damage as longsword heroes have their damage cut in half, and just things like that. I know this is probably well out the realms of what the game is capable of doing or what they are going to do. But it's little things like that that I would like to see, because then you'll probably use heroes you wouldn't use before. And it just makes you think differently about going into that piece of content and taking it out. And that's what I would like to see personally.
Limiting us in a way would be a very good idea. But I also think that there needs to be content for new players, because the gap between us veterans who have been stuck at level cap 39 and the players that are getting to level 50 now is so huge. We had so much time together, resources and everything, and we have a very big advantage. So I really think that all of this should be taken into account so that everyone can have their share of a challenge.
But then if you're a new player, then region 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is new content because you're new to the game. So that's what the way I see it is: you complete that baseline first and then go to Valhalla. That's just, I mean, you are probably right, and they should obviously include newer players, and a part of me does agree. But the way to me is, if you're a new player, you should be concentrating on regions 1 to 5 and then doing the Valhalla content. Possibly. Well, I don't know.
That's actually a fair point. That is
but I think it's not just they wouldn't put anything in the game that's just for veterans. Because it just doesn't make sense from their point of view.
We can expect the new heroes either, would they? I suppose there's that. I'm just obviously being level 50 for as long as we have with staff content, and it's just
that's fair. It's just something that I don't think they would do. I mean, I expect something more than the bounties, because the bounties were like perfect for new players, but they were just awful at launch, at least for endgame players, other than the Helix ones. So they were just not balanced at all for veterans, like including them in the equation even. So I expect these to happen instead with the campaign this time, but you just can't exclude new players. Maybe not right off the bat. Like, I expect that people that join the game right now wouldn't be able to play the campaigns for a while. Maybe, I don't know, started from Region 2. Like, you can't play the events. You can't play the events until you're like Brotherhood 7, I think.
Yeah.
So I do expect something similar, like Brotherhood 10, 12, or whatever. Still early, but not that early. Also, since we're getting 6 heroes through the campaign somehow, or related to the campaign. I do remember when there was a discussion on the server. Someone said, maybe it was me actually, said that I would like some common heroes, and Bunny reacted with like a smirk face. So that makes me think that if we're gonna get like common heroes, I really don't think that the campaigns would be locked for endgame players because we don't need common heroes.
Yeah.
While instead, if it was like accessible from say Brotherhood 12, then someone could actually use those common heroes. I would love them because they're new, they're different. I like to experiment and collect. But I don't think you will add a common hero just for collecting purposes. I mean, there must be someone that will have a use for it, and that's new players. So
yeah, that's a fair comment. That is a
if
fair
they
comment.
do that, we've recently, all four of us, started to play the game from scratch.
that's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. And really, adding new common heroes would be
Amazing.
amazing. Really,
love it.
a great experience for starting over because you would have something new to actually try out. So I would really love that. Yeah.
But
So
I do agree
from
with
me. Do
Charlie.
you think they'll put these new campaign missions behind Intel? Like they'll cost Intel to play. So if you're a new player, you can go in and do these missions, but obviously you're costing yourself Intel you would be using to progress through the story. Do you think that's the thing?
That will suck.
I think, again, looking at from a perspective of a new player, Intel is just something that we can spend when we are dealing with loot missions to get coins and stuff. Because at level 50, what you do is you farm coins, and that's basically it. You don't have to do legacy missions. There are many veteran players who have so much intel stocked, like in 1,000 plus something intel. So that would actually be a very bad choice because you would still have players to finish those campaigns in like a blink of an eye. And new players, on the other hand, would have those things completely out of reach because we are SirAlex and I are level 21 and 22, and we really need the intel.
Yeah.
We're
That would be
struggling
awful.
with it.
I will hate it.
Yeah. So I hope they don't do that.
You think they'll do the same thing as bounties and give you like one free go and the second go will cost Helix or something?
I was about to say they did something. I liked the system on the bounties, to be honest.
Was good.
It's very good. But there's no heroes through bounties. So if the heroes are like some sort of, a reward from the campaigns, then there must be some sort of like farming or grinding or whatever, like or a progress of some sort. So I did introduce like a new resource to spend, or
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say there should be a new, like, if we're thinking about it that way, there should be almost objectives in the game that you complete that give you the possibly, this is just, I mean, I want to obviously smash through it straight away on live stream, but it would be, but there is obviously a part of me that you could do, like, for example, daily challenges, not the standard ones that are already in there. Say, for example, kill 50 enemies, blah, 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 blah. And then you get given 2 intel. And when you collect 10 intel, you can go into the first mission and things like that. Possibly, that's just like, just off the cuff. But yeah, like a new way of earning a different kind of intel that gets you into the Valhalla content.
Because I was thinking if they put this out and it was, akin to being a Region 6 and it was a set of 5 missions, which they've pulled over from Raven's Wound, and you could run them, like legacy missions, like you can run them 3 times a day and then you're collecting, X amount of DNA. And then that would serve the purpose of like time gating us away from being just able to put 10,000 intel in.
Yeah, I guess. But intel is so valuable for new players. Like I know I agree with Charlie. I really hope the content is more towards end game players, towards us, to be fair. But if I try to, think from a new player perspective, having something like the campaigns with intel, I don't know, will kind of be a mess because it will slow your main progress so much. unless the cost is like, I don't know, 2 intel per mission or something like that.
I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like, if you've got all these plethora of things to do, and if you're a new player and you come in and you've got the 28 story missions which you're trying to get through, and then on the side you've also got these campaigns and you're trying to figure out where you want to spend your intel, that's actually just going to prolong the game life, right? Because I think we're all experiencing on our new accounts, like the first 9 months to 12 months of the game is like fantastic. But you kind of hit a wall once you beat the story and you freestart all the missions and you farmed all the legacy heroes. There's not anything to do at that point but wait on events. So I think I like Charlie's idea where these are designed as endgame content if they need to be, because then you can just play through the story and then you can focus on these campaigns. And then if this is, we're bringing in 6 new heroes and they've shown that they're very capable of pumping out new heroes, at least one a month. And let's say in 3 months' time they decide to make an Egypt campaign, and they could even like take Kenza, Apollodorus, Cleo, and move them into the campaign and out of the event, and then they could just like create 3 new heroes. If you're reusing the Rift event missions, you're not costing yourself any development time there. And maybe in 3 months' time they could just put out a new campaign. And now we've got 2 campaigns out.
Not bad, yeah.
And then you're figuring out where to spend your intel, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a game I used to play religiously called Marvel Contest of Champions, and every month they have basically a new campaign centered around new heroes. Obviously, you just fight heroes. They put different nodes on, things like that. There's different difficulties, but that's the same issue where, for example, on my account, I haven't finished Chapter 5 yet. I've not gone through Chapter 5 yet. So do I want to concentrate on that, or do I want to go through the monthly missions, get the rewards that they're offering now, and then try and squeeze in the campaign when I can? And that happens every month in that game. So they're at that point where they use energy in that, where you've got to decide, well, do you want to use your energy on the monthly quest, or do you want to do it on the campaign? And, players make it work. And it obviously just makes them, if you play the game more often, you're going to be able to collect intel quicker. You're going to be able, you know what I mean? So it just gives people that dilemma. What do you want to do? Do you want to go for the campaign and possibly earn some new heroes? Or do you want to progress through the storyline? I don't think that, as you said, it just brings longevity to the game. And there'll be people in 9 months' time possibly going, I've not even finished the campaign yet. You know what I mean? So it just keeps them engaged in the game a little bit longer.
It depends on how many missions there are, though, because I expect them to be like the post said, it would include missions, and they might be the same layout, same missions, same as the event, or they might have something different. Like in Echoes, I think it reuses maps from the events, but with a twist. Like there's a few rooms are different. There's the Leap of Faith edition, so we might get them something slightly different from just those 5 missions. And if you think you're talking about, say it's like 10 or 15 missions, I don't know, for a new player, 10, 15 missions costing intel is like, it could be your daily farming. So it's not like an addition. It's either one or the other.
It's a complete depletion of
I don't know.
resources.
If the intel was very low, then I could see that going, side by side. One day you run a few legacy missions less because you focus on the campaign. The day after you do the opposite, and that's fine. But that works if the campaign has 5 missions. If it has 10, 15, whatever, that's that's a lot. So I don't know what to hope. Intel, I'll probably be playing this mostly on my main account, so Intel wouldn't be an issue because I don't need to play the game for anything really at this time, other than a few events. Yeah. So
that's why I hope it is, like 5 legacy missions essentially. So if this new campaign comes out, well, guess what? If they just use the 5 missions again, that's fine. I'll play through them one time. I'll 3-star them. And then I'm rushing it 3 times a day. And then I'm just constantly seeing this this DNA come in. it's like playing the game from scratch. You're constantly getting DNA. You can see the progress. You're like, I've got Beatrice at 2-star. It's going to take me 5 days to get to 3-star. And you can feel the progress. And it's so much more engaging and rewarding versus, oh, I need this hero, so I'm just going to wait 6 weeks until the event comes around and do nothing every day for 6 weeks waiting.
But you know what the issue is here?
Yeah.
As a veteran player, if it is intel, we'll burn through that in no time.
Even if it's not intel, if it's like a mission you can run 3 times a day and it doesn't cost any resources.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
go through it in no time. We would chew through that.
It depends on the difficulty, though, because like I agree with Rob. Like, we need something to gate the content on like a daily basis. We can't have the whole campaign available straight away. You clear it from like mission 1 to 15, and then you're done. Because you got all the beginning. I hope it's more like a region based, and please, it's not a new region, whatever. If you think so, I don't care. Go to hell, but it's not a new region. So, but I do prefer like a daily thing, maybe lasting for a month, say, rather than I complete the campaign mission 1 to 15, and then I'm done, and I'll wait for the next one 6 months, whatever. So I do agree with that. I just don't think it would be great if it costed intel, but I definitely agree with. I hope it's like gated somehow to let me play.
Well, this is what I was thinking. If they're adding 6 new heroes, and that's, let's say, week 1 is one of the heroes. Let's say it's Bogey, and in that week, if you complete everything the campaign wants you to do, regardless of whether it costs intel or not, let's say you get 100 Bogey if you do everything in that week. And then the next week is the next hero.
You should blow your nose.
You have a serious problem. Call your doctor. But and then you get 100 DNA from 1 week, and then you're waiting 5 weeks maybe for him to come back around. I mean, that would take the best part of a year.
Yeah, forever.
At that rate. Or you could even like rotate 1 through a day, or maybe you could have a small amount of DNA for each hero available each day, and you could still stretch that out months and months. And like I say, you could come along with a second campaign in that time. And soon we could be sitting here trying to figure out, do I want to play the Norway campaign? Do I want to play the Egypt campaign? Do I want to play the Greece campaign? And that's just, if they're smart in time gating, how we can earn this DNA without really having to do anything else.
It also just says, though, recruit 6 new heroes. That might not necessarily all be linked to the campaign. There may be some heroes slung in the DNA cubes. There's, we don't really know how they're going to implicate these heroes yet, because it's all just part of an update. So we know a new campaign's coming, and it's going to have like missions included in the Raven's Wound, but then it just says recruit 6 new heroes. Like, it might not be completely campaign based anyway. Like, they could have them introduced into the cubes, so there's more heroes in the cubes. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's another way that they could.
Yeah, I feel there will be through the campaigns, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I do as well, but it's not. It doesn't specifically say that it's so.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, we don't have any specific details. We're just.
I was also thinking, like, as a former whale, I was thinking how they like. There's always a way to speed things up, to get things faster and stuff. But the campaign sound like they won't have PvP. They won't have like the competition that events have. So I was thinking that, I don't know, especially considering the daily grind, when you say you run the missions more like legacy missions, so you can run only a few times and then you have to wait. And I was thinking how they could make things easier.
I actually have a theory on this.
Yeah.
So what if it worked like a legacy mission where you could run each mission 3 times a day, but let's say the first 2 times either cost intel or are free or whatever, and then the third mission cost 20 helix to run, and you were like, I can settle for 2/3 of the DNA and play for free, or I want that hero right now. I'm just going to burn the 20 helix, whatever it is, 100 helix a day for all of the missions.
Well, if that happens, it's your fault.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart strategy,
Would you do that? Would you play for those 20 Helix, Rob?
I mean, I'm the ultimate long game player. Like, I don't care if I'm playing this 3 years from now. I'll still be collecting the DNA. But like, if there was a great hero, let's say one of these new heroes they put in is on the Bayek female Eivor tier, and you're just like, man, they are so good. I've got to have them. You'd spend the 20 Helix a day, no qualms, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you could just pick 2 or 3, and then you're only spending 40 or 60 a day, and you're making that. So there'd be like, again, a calculated decision of, do I want to pour my resources into this hero? Yes. This hero, maybe not. And again, more decision making, another place to spend your Helix, because I don't think the male Eivor cube really solved any Helix problems in this game.
It did for us.
It did for us. Just not the other 99.9% of players.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody got any other crazy theories they want to throw in there about the campaign mode?
No, not really. I think
okay. Cool. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to find out what it is and
I'm
how badly wrong I am about everything.
Said that. I don't think I said that. Like, I am genuinely buzzing for this. I genuinely can't wait for this to come out. I'm so intrigued. Definitely looking forward to it.
It's a good time.
I'm excited for more or less everything coming into the game. But this really, I'm very happy that we are getting the campaigns.
Yeah, I was also thinking about the fact that it brings 6 heroes. Let's say they come from the campaigns, and I was thinking like Region 5 was huge, massive, brought a lot of things. But if I remember correctly, it didn't bring any new hero, did it?
New hero.
No,
it was the
way to get Mario, but
and the event for Altair, I think, but it wasn't.
And that was one of the big letdowns of Region 5.
Yeah,
there was no
precisely.
New heroes.
Yeah, and then they're heading 6 through the new game mode. So I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know the details. I don't know the structure, and it's not a new region, for fuck's sake. But I mean, it has potential to be something fairly big because we're getting 6 heroes. We got 0 in Region 5, and that was fairly easy to pull off. Like, you got new legacy mission, just put a new hero in there. Who cares? Like, 2 new heroes, yeah, whatever. But they didn't, and they're heading 6 now. So I don't know. I think that the mod has potential. It may be something fairly big.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a path to success here. Because if they don't have to create any new missions, we've obviously seen they're happy creating new heroes, very high quality. I don't think anyone has any problem with the quality of the new heroes. So, like, it seems like a good model. But follow-up question for me, if they're going to be borrowing heavily from the Raven's Wound, like, what happens to that event? Is anything going to change with it? Are we expecting new heroes to come in that event, and that event just keeps coming, but we're playing the same missions? I don't know. Charlie, what do you think?
I don't think it'll have an impact on the Raven's Wound. I think this could be a nice way of throwing a load of Valhalla heroes into the game without flooding the event. So, like, they could still bring in, if one of the heroes isn't announced. Is it Tazim? Am I right in saying that's Alec?
Basim.
Basim.
No, I'm not playing. I'm still playing through Valhalla. That's not a mispronunciation. I just didn't know his name properly. So, like, they could bring him into the Raven's Wound as an additional hero, and it wouldn't flood the Raven's Wound event. So, not only have you got these 6 new heroes that can come that you can possibly get via the campaign, even though it's probably the same content but in a different mode, I don't think it'll impact the Raven's Wound at all. Especially
like you said earlier, we don't know how they're plugging the heroes in, so it could be 5 to go with 5 missions, and like you say, it might just be 1 is being added to the event.
Yeah, and in all fairness, the prize that you get from the Raven's Wound in female Eivor, she's just a monster. So I think anybody who still hasn't got a 5-star just go crazy for the event anyway. So I don't think it'll impact the event at all. I'm just hoping that it isn't a carbon copy, because then it does become laborious. Like, playing that Helix Rift event in a campaign that you can access all the time, it takes some of the specialness away from an actual Helix Rift event.
Yeah, so, turns the event into running the same missions that you're already running every day.
Yeah. but I don't think it'll impact it too much.
What do you think, Khaleesi?
Yeah, female Eivor is currently the only hero, like Charlie says. So I know, I mean, it's logical that they will be adding more heroes to that event. I don't expect the event to change at all, even though the ending of the event does kind of make room for a sequel, like something else that might be happening with that event. But I don't know. I don't really expect the event to be changing, except the addition of new heroes. I'm very happy that the heroes we have announced so far, the four new heroes that we are getting through the campaigns, are Assassin's Creed Rebellion exclusive. They don't come from from the Valhalla game. They're just from Assassin's Creed Rebellion. So I do expect that the Raven's Wound will be getting more heroes. It's just the pattern that the game has been having so far. And yeah, I really do hope that we don't get just the Raven's Wound recycled missions, because as Charlie says, I do agree with that part. It's just going to be, I mean, imagine the month when you have the Raven's Wound event and you also play the campaigns at the same time. It's really going to be boring. Yeah.
What do you think, SirAlex? Any changes coming?
I don't think so. Well, the Raven's Wounded are already pretty frequent. I think it was like Jaina, or we discussed it. It's very, very often as an event. So I'm not sure if they'll take the chance to slow down a bit and maybe have the campaign in March and then the Raven's Wound in April or May. I don't expect many changes to that. I can think of a few heroes from the main game that you could still add to the event, like more than 2 anyway, assuming the last 2 from the campaign are from the main game, obviously. But I don't know, at this point, considering how famous female Eivor is, I think that people might actually be pissed if a new hero is in Raven's Wood, being it like Basim or whoever, even male Eivor, to be fair. I think if I didn't have female Eivor and she was going in rotation with male Eivor, I mean, yeah, it would be cool to collect male Eivor because you have a chance, but gameplay wise, that would be quite annoying because female Eivor is just so much stronger.
That's what we had with Bayek, though, right?
Yeah.
Mask of the Abyss, Bayek leaderboard every time, and now you're waiting, 3 or 4 rotations waiting for Bayek, which is pretty rough.
But I don't think they will change anything. It also depends on, is it one campaign? Because Valhalla is the main game now. Are they planning to do more campaigns in the future? How long is the campaign going to run? I don't think it's going to be a few days as an event. I hope it will be like a semi-permanent content. So yeah, it depends on a lot of things, but I don't think the event and the campaign will go in conflict with each other.
Because I was wondering, is this actually giving an opportunity to take an event, turn it into a campaign, and then shorten the number of events we have? Because it feels like the number of events we have is kind of at its boiling point. We've probably got about 6 weeks worth of events. So if there's an event you want, you're waiting a long time. Obviously tough to, retire your newest event. It would be nice if they could take maybe some of the older events, turn them into a campaign and, add those heroes into the campaign so you could actually shorten the event rotation.
How do you feel though? Imagine say in 4 months, they announce the second campaign and all new, brand new, 6 new heroes. Well, no, actually 6 heroes, and 4 of them are Perina, Corvo, Horatio, and whatever. I don't know. Name another.
Jamie is in.
No. I mean, if they were putting a few of the old hero events in the new campaign,
None of us would play.
Yeah. No, well, people will just be disappointed because they said, "Oh, wait, it's just the old heroes." And I know it makes sense from like shortening. There's too many events. Assuming they will add one more, they have to add like a Unity event, of course. So I don't know. It's a lot of events, but at the same time, would you really want the whole heroes to be put in the campaigns if you were a new player?
It's tough. I mean, if you're a new player, right, and let's say Art of the Heist wasn't a thing anymore, it was made into a campaign, and that's where you got Lupo and Jamie. If you're a new player, you don't care, right? Because you're just going to the campaign to get that DNA. You can still get Lupo. You're just getting him from a different place, and in theory, a more consistently farmable place than waiting, 6 weeks for the event. And then, as an endgame player, if they're like, we're making this new campaign, but, only 2 of the 6 heroes are new, it's like, well, I still want those 2, and I'm still going to play the campaign. If they structure the rewards in a way that I have to still play all the missions to get the 2 new heroes, like, I'm still going to do that as an endgame player.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's additional rewards as well. You know what I mean? Like, there should obviously, hopefully, be Helix, coins, things like that for obviously progressing through each level of the campaign. Anyway, I hope so. Anyway, and it is interesting. Like, if you were to say, like, for example, the Art of the Heist, that was the one with Lupo and Jamie, wasn't it? I'm right in saying that, and and squash that into a campaign. That then kind of, if you did that for say 2 of the 3 of the older events, that then makes room to possibly throw then a new Helix Rift event in. So you could throw like a Syndicate Helix Rift event in. And
well, that's the thing. Like, would I rather, a new campaign came out with old heroes in it, but I get a Syndicate event for EV? Yeah, I'd take the Syndicate event for EV.
And I hope that this is permanent content, like this campaign. Like, I hate games where you download them, you're a year late to the party, and then you can't get certain heroes because you just weren't playing the game at that time. Like that, or you've missed out on certain content because you wasn't playing the game at that time. Like, if this is a campaign, please just make it permanent so that if Tony Jr. 2 years down the line is going to download the game, they get to experience the Valhalla content as well, because it is a main series game and it would be nice for a player to come in and experience that. So I hope this does stay as a permanent piece of content.
I don't think they would do that. I think they would, if anything, it would be in some sort of a rotation.
Yeah.
Because so far we've never had that happen. Like, there's no other way to get a hero than just through the event, and you throw the event away and you can't get that hero anymore.
No, I'm just talking about this event that like this campaign.
Yeah,
like,
I really don't think
make it permanent.
Yeah, they won't do that. I'm pretty confident they won't do that. So
yeah, because I think my goal for this would be, like, if we're talking about this in a year's time, we're logging into the game, we're hitting the missions button, we've got the new campaigns card, you click in there, and in a year's time you see Norway, Egypt, Greece, London, whatever. So it just makes it more appealing for new players as well, right? Because they're just loading up the game and there's just a plethora of stuff to do at that point.
You said 10 years, right?
3 years.
It's not creating new content though. It's just retiring old stuff. It's not even retiring. It's just copying and pasting it into a campaign, right? In theory, you could. No takers on that one.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying, because obviously it'll get to the point where if you try and introduce more Helix Rift events without taking others away, then, if this game survives another year and they add in, say, for example, another 4 Helix Rift events, you could be waiting literally 6 months for a specific event with a specific hero to come along. And yeah, so by what you said, copy and pasting old, like a current Helix Rift event that's one of the older ones into a campaign which is accessible anytime to anyone, yeah, that'd be great. As long as there was just a couple of little twists to it, and like just not hero fragments, like just something else as a reward for completing the campaign. So even if you are an end game player, even I know that this means nothing to us, but even if you got, for example, you complete the campaign all the way through, you get an ancient tablet, 100k coins, 200 Helix, 24 large codexes. You know what I mean? Or
Rare
something
materials.
like that. Yeah, just something that even if you are pushing towards that end game content, or even if you are in game, I'll be like, do you know what? I'll do that because I could do with the coins and the Helix is nice. You know what I mean? So I've still got a reason to play the game.
For sure. I'm interested to see what happens. I think there's a really sustainable model here. If it's centered around creating new heroes, I think there's definitely a lot they can do. So speaking of new heroes, obviously we were promised 6 new heroes, and Bunny has been releasing these images. As of recording, we've seen 4 new heroes. They are all ACR exclusive. Charlie, this is going to be your favorite part of the podcast. Why don't you tell everybody their names in full?
Right. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm actually quite happy with that. These are, like Khaleesi said it earlier on, I'm really happy that these are like ACR exclusives. It's nice to see, like I've always said, ACR being as like should be a kind of a standalone game as well. Mm-hmm. So they should be able to introduce new heroes that affect the game in a positive way that haven't necessarily featured in the main series. So I like that, and I do think the next 2 will be heroes from Valhalla, because it does say ACR Valhalla favourites. But right, here we go. Right, I'm going to try the first one. Right. Boggy Three Fingers. Yeah, was that all right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Boggy? Right, yeah, I've got that one. Look at that, I nailed that. Right. Oh, my God. Dala Asteroidota.
How was that?
I don't think I could say it again if I tried. Dala Asteroidota. I've got no idea how to say that. I've not got a clue. Asteroidota. No.
Are you actually reading it?
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's like
you're adding like 3 more letters in the name.
3?
Are not.
I counted 20. Like I think I heard 20. All right. Okay. No.
Okay.
Aegir was actually pretty good. I mean, I didn't know how to pronounce it either, but I think Aegir's Dottir.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like Dora when you say it, so it sounds right.
All right. Well, just Dala. I got Dala right in it. We'll just try Dala. That's fine by me. Right. The third one is Good Laughter Stone Eye.
Wow.
Good laugh.
I want to say good laugher.
Yeah, it seems like a funny guy. No, he does seem like a funny guy.
Yeah.
How would you pronounce that? Gut laugh?
Goose.
Good laugh.
Good luck.
Good laugh Stone Eye. And then this one, that's Yora. Is that Yora?
Jora?
I don't know if it's Yora or Jora.
Jora or Yora.
Blood Shoulder. I didn't do too bad there. I was quite happy with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that these are ACR exclusive heroes. I hope they're just not a copy of paste of some rascal hero we've already got in the game that isn't any good. I hope that they have actually put a little bit of creativity into these heroes, especially being exclusives. So I do think the next 2 will be heroes from the main series, at least one, because it does say AC Valhalla favourites. So that probably would say that the next 2 should be AC Valhalla main series. Mm-hmm. So it's got an S on the end, because it would say AC Valhalla favourite and ACR exclusives.
Yeah, I'm predicting the same, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, SirAlex, you were saying you think we're going to get a mix of rarity on these heroes?
I think so. Yeah, it would be great. I mean, we what point would be that like they're all legendaries? To be fair, so I'd like them to be even rare or common. Even that would be fun, especially well, obviously for a new player. But in general, even to compare, like lately, I rediscovered like my love for Matteo. So it would be fun to have like a new common hero to compare. I just hope they're not all like axes or hammers, because I know the Vikings, they brew, they use hammers and axes fine. But if they could use some like other weapons, like even dagger or a great sword, actually, that would be amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, I almost feel like none of these four are going to be legendary, right?
yeah, I don't think so. But that would make sense. Like you keep the legendary tier for kind of known heroes, and then you can get a little bit more creative for the exclusive ones.
Mm-hmm. And Khaleesi, what do you think from these four heroes? Anybody catch your eye?
Well, I personally I like most the last two, Goose, Goose Stone Eye, and Jorah. I really like both of their designs. I don't know. I I would really like a mix of rarity. Um, I wouldn't agree that none of them would fit a legendary hero design. I think we'll see, but I would really like to see a mix of rarity, and especially now after restarting the game again from the beginning, it would be so very interesting to see new common heroes in the game, especially for new players. Of course, that's not content that interests us veterans from our perspective, but I would still like to see more variety. And also, I really do hope it's not just axes and hammers or mix of those or whatever. I really do hope we get. Um, I think hidden blades. It's highly unlikely.
Hopefully,
Yeah, but yeah, great swords, daggers, even ordinary sword. It doesn't matter. Just don't make them all with hammers and
even a
axes, please.
spear. I mean,
Yes,
Even a
there's yeah,
spear,
spear.
yeah, definitely. I just really hope that they bring more variety with these heroes.
I would take like a legendary like Jorah or Yora over like a
Yeah,
legendary Cleopatra anytime, anyway. Like
yeah.
Cleopatra, who? So
Yeah, it's just the established precedent now, isn't it? Like the legendaries generally seem to be coming from the main game series, or at least they have
yeah,
been for the last year or so.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I could even see Stone Eye being a legendary hero. It doesn't have to be a shiny golden design to make a hero legendary.
yeah.
So
I just feel like
we'll
the
see.
two they're going to pull from the game are far more likely to be
Yeah,
the epic
I
and
do
legendary.
believe so. I do believe so. Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
they're
So,
really
Charlie, when
nice.
you look at these, are you getting any class, subclass vibes from
Do you
any
know
of them?
what? While we've been talking, I've been listening to these. I've been strolling through Bunny's bulletins just to see if like there was any backgrounds that could give it away, but there isn't. Like, could they be epic? I was like, can they be epic? I don't know, judging by the ground color. But then looking at it, it doesn't. I don't know. They could be anything. I am hoping, like the rest of you, that they are not just all either epic or legendaries. I would like to see like a nice new rare hero and just something just a little bit different. Just like it's just a little bit more fun. Just they're a little bit more easy to collect. It's not just bog standard. Oh, I've got another legendary. And as I said about like the campaign restrictions, like it would be nice if they were restricted. You know, like you could only bring rares into this. You know what I mean? This mission, and by introducing like these as different rarities, you could open up the gateway for future content doing the same thing, where you could use these heroes in future content. Where right, you can only bring commons in, and oh look at this, I've got like a new Valhalla character that I can bring into this event, or the same with a rare. But looking at them, if I was to call one of these as a legendary, I'd probably go Stone Eye, I think. Just either that or Dalla. Just because the other names sound like more like, like Jorah, whatever. It just says blood. Is that Blood Shoulder? That isn't it?
Shoulder.
You should be able to read that.
Yeah, no, I can. I just for some reason I thought it was Soldier. Yeah. I'm not doing myself any favours. So out of the two, I think Dalla or Stone Eye could possibly be the higher rarity out of the 4 so far. But I am hoping that even when the other 2 are announced, that there are a variation of rarities. So not just all epics and legendaries. I would probably like to see a rare thrown in there at least.
Because there's plenty of subclass class combos to fill from the lower rarities, right? Like we don't have a common AoE or whatever. I know we don't even have like an epic disarm, but
I don't even think you've got a rare. You've got a rare disarm. You haven't got a rare support, have you? Am I wrong in saying that?
Oh, good question.
Like the support.
Gershon is Gershon.
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
Oh, no,
he's
I just couldn't remember whether he was support or healing.
Nobody associated
some support he is.
Only hindrance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. It would be nice to fill them gaps in. So if newer players can get these heroes, then they at least obviously have a use within going through the regions. You know what I mean? You've not got to wait for a specific class or subclass to get through it. So yeah, I am interested. As I said, I hope they're not all hammer and axes as well. Like it would be nice to have a variation of hero. Like I think that Stone Eye just screams all day a little dagger. You know what I mean? Just I don't know why. It just to me screams like you could just have a nice little dagger going around killing people. So yeah, it would
I was
be
thinking
nice.
Dalla could be maybe a free runner with a dagger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many possibilities. I'm generally buzzing. I generally am. This is just obviously, we've been playing the game. Yusuf obviously played it for a couple of months longer than me. I think I came along in the February of 2019, I think. And I just like this is the biggest thing to happen to me in the game, and especially for someone who creates content on it. Like, I generally cannot wait. I really am buzzing for this.
Yeah, well, if you think 2.0 was the global release and this is 3.0, it obviously makes you think this is a significant update coming. How are you guys feeling about the last 2 heroes? Predictions on who you think they'll be? Anyone can throw some names out there.
I know some from the game. I got the first one wrong. It's Bazim, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gunnar, I think, is a popular one. I think a lot of people wouldn't mind seeing. He was the blacksmith, wasn't he? Well, he still is the blacksmith in the game. He hasn't died or anything. But
I was like, who? I couldn't remember the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Gunnar. There's
Aetham. There's
Sigurd, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'll come in to the event. I'd expect to see him in the game. I just don't think he'll be. I'll be gobsmacked if he's one of these 2 remaining heroes.
I have no idea.
Sigurd?
Yes, like Eivor's brother. Yeah, I'd be gobsmacked if it's.
Well, there's Rand V2. I mean, there's a few you could put from the game. That's why I think, the 2, like the event and campaign 1, getting conflict at all, because that at least like 4 or 5 years you can still, pull from the game.
Yeah, I love Oswald. I love him. He's been one of my favourites since I've been playing through the game. So
Oswald, all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got an attackers, so I think that any hero
anyone,
is possible.
Well, that's
that's
why I like the fact that these are ACR exclusives, because I'd rather them throw in a hero that's completely made up for ACR with some cool abilities than get like Nakatas or Cleopatra again.
Nakatas.
You know what I mean? Did I say his name wrong?
Of course you did, but it's okay. It's okay because it's Nakatas. No tacos, anyway.
No tacos. We call him no tacos.
Yeah, I've seen the meme. But yeah, so I'd rather I'd rather them obviously put some new heroes in that are decent rather than, yeah, as you said, if he can make the game, Darius' son, it was like bring your son to work day and they just brought him into the game. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I know that like Bazim seems to be. I haven't finished Valhalla yet because it's too bloody long. It's just
a long game.
Yeah, it's too long. But anyway, I know that Bazim is kind of a controversial one. Like people, there's probably something ahead that will like challenge what we think of him, I guess. But I still think he looks so cool. So that's the main.
Even his apprentice as well, isn't it? What's his apprentice?
Atham.
Yeah.
Both of them are like I like them. I just like Bazim the most. So that's my top pick.
Yeah. Exciting times, guys. Lots of good things to look forward to. Before we wrap, I know we had a quick issue we wanted to chat about just for a minute, which was a very sneaky update, which was kind of slipped in under the radar, was the buff to the Lighthawk male. And Khaleesi, I know you were very surprised and pleased to see this.
Yeah, I was really happy. Ever since the Lighthawk male came out, there was so much disappointment. I mean, the stats were simply too low. There was stuff missing. There was stuff too much. I mean, there was 20 dexterity on the armor, but there was like 20 agility, and there was absolutely no health points. So it was quite a disappointing thing, and there were a lot of players complaining and asking for the armor to be buffed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was really glad that was included. And yeah, it was a sneaky update.
Yeah, it was very cool that they did it. It was very interesting that they can make that change so easily. I know SirAlex wished they'd done it like 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, I hated it because then I watched Charlie in the video saying, "Oh, he's actually pretty good now." Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I did do a video on it. But to be fair to you, before I did the video, I even mentioned in the video, I don't know if he's entered the Helix Rift event. I think it was the highest he was in, wasn't it? The most recent Helix Rift event that had happened since his update to his armor. And it was just amazing. It just felt so good playing the hero. His jump checks were amazing. Like his agility checks were just brilliant. The damage was just like the sustainability was there. It just felt like playing a new hero. It was so nice to have him in the Helix Rift. It was brilliant. So yeah, I hope they do this with a few more heroes. I think they should tweak and look at. I don't mean make every single hero broken to the point where like you just increase their stats through the roof, but just tweak a few people's. Like, you know, you could do Shojin's armor, for example. That could do with possibly a little bit of tweaking, and you know, you could, So I think just a little rework of some of the gear just to fine tune it so that it is actually, you know, meant to improve the hero and be specific for that class, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a class item. So
yeah, this was more of a fix.
I'm just hoping that it can. Yeah, I'm just hoping it'll pave the way for, you know, just for, as I said, like just to improve, you know, just tune up some of the armors, because I think we could all probably agree that like some of the armors could, people to look through it in depth could go, well, do you know what? That should just be a tiny bit higher.
Yeah, Rodrigo.
You know, Rodrigo hasn't got Bayek's armor. I mean, he's still like, I know everyone raves about him, but like he still takes like 500 damage a hit at times. So surely they could just tweak that armor a little bit so that he's just a little bit more durable. You know what I mean? Just little tweaks like that I'd like to see. But it was an amazing little sneaky update.
Yeah, nice quality of life fix. Didn't want to let that go unnoticed. We love those quality of life fixes.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you guys for your time. I know we've been going on for a while, so I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings in peace. So you can find SirAlex, Khaleesi, myself on the Discord. Charlie's on there too, but best place to find Charlie is on YouTube. Head on there, type in Charlie B17. or anything Assassin's Creed Rebellion, I guarantee you'll find him.
I think I'm actually the top search on YouTube now.
Number one in all of
YouTube. Yeah, so I got there.
Good.
Game conquered.
But yeah, awesome speaking to you, and yeah, I hope everybody stays safe, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, and the listeners stay safe as well.
Cool.
Likewise.
Have a good. Until next time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.